Now, last month was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and recently, reporter Steve Shaw had the opportunity to meet a mother and her son who have both been impacted by different types of cancer. How they have handled that challenge is a story you don't want to miss. Steve.
Trevor Story attends North Rock Creek High School in Shawnee. Next week, he turns 17 years old, and that's quite an accomplishment that he's even gotten here. Last Thursday in Shawnee, the North Rock Creek Cougars played their final football game of 2021. Number 56, Trevor Story, is a main cog along the Cougar defensive line and number 1 in his mother Zona Story's heart.
This year, I think he's finally feels like he's free, that it's not gonna come back again. He's not being inhibited by it.
She's referring to the fact that on December 16, 2013, almost 8 years ago, doctors at OU Children's Hospital diagnosed then 9-year-old Trevor Story, who was just a third grader, with prostate cancer. Put it this way, a normal male's prostate is about the size of a walnut. Trevor's had swollen to the size of a grapefruit. Doctors performed an invasive surgery the next day. 43 chemotherapy treatments followed, then 6 weeks of radiation. And the cancer, well, it went away for a while. When did it come back?
5th grade.
Yep.
When he was, in fact, we found out, 4 days before he turned 11.
Trevor endured a second invasive 8-hour-long surgery where doctors actually removed his prostate and altered the way he urinates. All of that was followed again by 29 more chemotherapy treatments.
Besides that, all the things that chemo does to your body, you just don't know. I mean, they don't know what's going to affect him. You know, he has problems with his feet. He has problems with his hips. Your body just, it wasn't meant to be poisoned. And that's exactly what they do to you. So we have to kind of keep an eye on him and make sure everything's right.
The surgeries, chemotherapy, and radiation took a toll. Trevor couldn't walk without leg braces for a while. Then the Oklahoma Standard appeared. Trevor has always loved the Oklahoma State Cowboys. In 2014, before a Cowboys basketball game, the Cowboy faithful showed the love. Not to be outdone, when Trevor was later hospitalized at OU Children's with a catheter issue, he had a visitor named Big Game Bob.
And I'll never forget when he came into Trevor's room that day.
Yeah.
He was actually in there with his surgeon, or one of the surgeons.
Yeah, we had a room full.
He had a room full of people. And, Bob comes up and he makes laps around there. It's really cool. But he comes in, of course, our room is decked in OSU. Yeah. Of course, he knows what he's walking into.
Yeah, and then Bob harassed him about his OSU and started picking on him immediately. And we have a football that says, "Go Sooners."
Go Sooners, not Pokes.
Not Pokes. He signed and left for Trevor. We have it on his wall.
Zona says she won't forget the generosity.
Older people who were going through cancer would stop us. I mean, I've never been in that situation. I've given to others, but I've never had to receive, and it was a very humbling thing for our family lesson to learn.
Then we have great treatments available.
Dr. Michael Cookson is chairman of urology at OU Medical Center, as well as chief surgical officer at OU's famous Stevenson Cancer Center. And he says stories like Trevor's story are why this fight must move forward.
I'm not surprised, because I think that, again, with proper treatment and, God willing, you can achieve a cure even when you're dealt such a severe hand at a young age. And so that's an amazing story, and we should celebrate that young man's playing in his life.
To be able to do this after all of that takes a special kind of tough. Trevor Story is just a junior this year. God willing, he'll be out there slugging it out in the trenches again for his senior year.
And this year he's given it his all, and I could cry every game. I mean, he's out there playing with all his heart, and he hasn't done that in years. Even though he loved it, there was still something holding him back.
Trevor's cancer has been in remission for about 5 years. Jason Murray is North Rock Creek High School's head coach.
It You know, the hard days out here aren't anything like the hard days he's had to deal with before.
Do the guys let up on him at all?
Oh no, there's no letting up on anybody out here, no.
But apparently there's no letting up on the Story family. A year ago, doctors diagnosed Zona with breast cancer. They caught it early.
It came down to reaching out to some of the doctors Trevor had. His radiation radiologist. We contacted him because he did breast radiation on breasts, and asked for his opinion. And you know, I asked several friends, what are the best doctors? Who should I go to people that had taken care of Trevor.
After a double mastectomy and reconstructive surgery 4 months ago, doctors said Zona, for now, is cancer-free.
I never felt the lump. So had I not gotten the mammogram, we would have known. I mean, it would just kept growing.
1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime.
Dr. Lori Frederick is a breast radiologist at OU Medical Center. She says breast cancer is the second or third leading cancer killer of women.
There's lots of things, you know, that we really do rely on those screening mammograms to catch early cancers before it creates a problem. So before it causes a lump or, you know, any kind of symptom or sign that your doctor could pick up on even.
You just don't know until you're there. And the hardest thing was telling him that I had cancer and watching his face. Because he knew. He knew the battle, and he just, you know, here we go again. Would take it over and over again for him.
We interviewed Zona and her husband Shane for the last time this past Tuesday. They say Trevor planned to be there but decided against it, and you know what? We get it.